Hey everyone, so today we're going to be talking a little bit about oils for focus and concentration. And I know that's a big topic right now. Many of you have kids that are going back to school. In the United States, school is virtually over, but I'm hearing about a lot of people that are actually sending their kids to summer school. And the reason they're sending their kids to summer school, so if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, the way I am, summer is just beginning. So the official start to summer is actually June 21st, and we're going to be having some of actually our longest days of the year starting very soon. So we are experiencing just beautiful, lovely weather. It's been a kind of a cool spring for us. Excuse me, not quite summertime yet, but in that springtime weather has brought a lot of parents that are very concerned that maybe their kids didn't study quite as well when they were on lockdown, or they were on shelter in place, or they were home during the circuit breaker. And many of you who are listening to this that are from Southeast Asia, you actually have just begun to reopen your doors and to have your children go back to school. Where I am, we are still on shelter in place, and I think we're going to be here for a little while longer, but I am hearing of students that are going back to school. So that's why we're talking about this now. Here's the other thing, just on a personal note, my daughter has set off on her adventure. She was home for 12 weeks, if you can believe it. So that was a really wonderful time that we had with her. And she has now gone off to Austin, Texas to start her internship for the summer. So she'll be there in Austin for doing her internship. Office is not open. She's working remotely, but let's hope that the office does open, and then she'll be right there ready to go. Here's the other thing. School starts early. The other thing that I'm hearing now from American schools, from universities to high schools, secondary schools, primary schools, many schools are talking about starting school early. What does that mean for me? So that means that instead of before September, schools may be starting in August, even early August, because we're trying to juggle what kinds of holidays we're going to be giving our kids in this next year going forward. So my goal for all of you is twofold. My goal is to keep you all healthy and safe. That's my goal, my commitment to you. And then my second goal actually is to help you as you go through this journey, because this is going to be a journey for all of us as we get back to our regular routine, as we begin to see things reopening. How do we react? How do we keep ourselves healthy? And how do we normalize our families and our friends, right? That's the main thing. I mean, I have two young people here, and as you know, my 90-year-old mom. And so we are always juggling here. It's a lot of different personalities. And I think in the next few weeks or months or so, you're going to be hearing some new news from me. And I think that maybe this studio that I have set up behind me, and I hope you're liking the studio. If you like the studio, give me a thumbs up. If you're in the camera, if you're not in the camera, type, what do you think? So I set this up actually while I was while I've been home and shelter in place. And part of the reason I set it up was because I wanted to be able to have a really high quality broadcast for all of you every time that we go live. Because I know sometimes the quality of the film, oh yes, TX Rohani is saying yes, and TTX, sorry, I don't want to keep pronouncing your name. Lorinda likes it, Carolyn likes it, Sihan, great, I'm glad that you like it. This is sort of a corner of my office, and you all have seen different corners of my office as I've tried to improve the view for you. So now you're getting a little bit of a corner of my office. And for anybody who speaks Chinese, reads, writes, or speaks, I think that's my name. I hope it is. If it's not, please let me know, and I will. Oh, Rohani. Okay, thank you. You can call me Rohani. I love that. Thank you, Rohani. Geraldine says, yes, it's correct. Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, your Chinese name. Okay, so good. I didn't want to think that I had something weird down there, and then they just wrote my name in English underneath. So I'm super happy to be here. We're going to talk a lot about commitment. We're going to talk a little bit about doTerra and their commitment to you. And then, oh, Hong says, yes, we love your Chinese name on that painting. Hong, you were the one who gave it to me. So yes, you know that I still have it, and I have it a place of honor. Not always, it wasn't always in the screen, but here it is. Okay, so let me share my screen with you, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things. So hold on one second, and we've got some really interesting ideas that we're going to talk about. I think if you haven't been here yet, you know what I always do, which is I try to share my slides with you and also make sure that you have a sense of, you know, what are the ideas? What are the ideas that we're talking about right now? Okay, so my commitment to you, as I mentioned before, my commitment is basically the health and safety of your family. The other commitment that I have is to make sure that we are an inclusive community. No matter where you're from, no matter what the color of your skin, I want to make sure that when you come to this call every Monday, you feel that you are in the right place, that these are your people, and that we are a family. One of the things I love about doTerra is I've always felt that it was open and inclusive. So we have people from literally every corner of the globe with different sorts of races, religions, beliefs, different energy levels, but doTerra's goal really is to keep each and every one of us safe and sound. And one of the things that I think I've told you before on this call is that the reason I love doTerra is they're always thinking of us, the consumers, right? When they think about us, they think about what's the best way for us to use essential oils. So for example, I love the fact when I think about peppermint, for example, that peppermint is now available in a gel format, gel capsule format. That makes it easy for me to take if I want to help with any sorts of focus or concentration issues, or also if I want to deal with any sort of digestive disturbances that I may be having. When I think of lavender, lemon, and peppermint together, I think about Tri-Ease, and how it can help me with seasonal discomforts. So what I also think when I think about peppermint, I think about my peppermint beadlets. So I love the fact that even though we are an essential oil company, and originally all of our essential oils just came in mostly 15 milliliter bottles, now they're available to us in so many different formats, and that we're able to incorporate this very healthy, let's call it plant magic, this plant support in all of the different aspects of our lives. So that's one of the reasons I love doTerra. The other thing is I want you to think of me always as your friend and your ally. If there's something that's not going well for you, if there's something that's disturbing you, if you're having difficulty with enrollments, or you're having difficulty using a product, that I'm always here for you. And that really I consider each and every one of you like my family. As you know, I've invited many of you to my home. I'm always so happy to see you whenever we can get together face to face, whether it's like this virtually, or it's when we get together at least once a year when we come together at convention, or other times when I'm able to travel. And I'm looking forward to that time when I'm going to be able to see all of you and travel again. But let me get to the main point of our conversation. So I hope that each and every one of you feels the same, that this is a really strong friendship and a bond that we've created together. And part of that has to do with the honesty that we have created over these really 7 years. And so if you haven't been here, you haven't heard this conversation before, this is a call, this is a dialogue that's been going on between all of you and me for the last 7 years. And I hope we have many, many more years to come. That's really my goal and my wish. So today we're supporting your kids, right? Or you maybe you're studying. I don't know, maybe you're going back to work. I have to say, now that my daughter is not here, I love my daughter to death, but we tend to stay up really late and yak. And so I don't get as much sleep when my daughter's here because she just has a million things to say, and I do too. And so now that she's gone to her next stop on her journey, I'm adjusting my routine. So this morning I was able to get up a little bit earlier because I went to bed a little bit earlier last night. So that's kind of, we'll see what the new normal for me is. So let's sit back for a minute and let's talk about focus and concentration. Although maybe what you want to do is sit up and take notes, and you're always welcome, as you know, to take photographs of the screen, right? You're always welcome to do that. And this is going to be recorded on YouTube, posted on YouTube. If you haven't already gone to YouTube and subscribed, please consider doing that. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. We have conversations here in English and in Spanish, in case you happen to know anyone who's a Spanish speaker. Okay, so kids back at school, oils for focus and concentration. So I have to say, I don't love those empty classrooms. That's not what I like. I know kids may like them because they feel like they're out, but I also think kids miss their friends, right? We want our kids to be back in school, sitting in the seats, learning something, getting creative, really filling their brains with everything that they need to know. Brains, for me, are like sponges, and we can fill them with dirty water or we can fill them with clean, fresh water. And that's what we really want to do. We want to have them soak up everything that they need to know. Okay, so some amazing single oils, and these are going to be some of the ones that you're going to win, folks. Remember, I promised you that we were going to have, you're going to win all of the oils on today's, for those of you who are on the live, you're going to win all of these oils, but these are the oils that I personally recommend for focus and concentration. So here we go. Roman chamomile, which reduces anxiety while promoting confidence. I love Roman chamomile, very mild smelling. Some of you have, I'm sure, had chamomile tea. It is from that, if you can see that little tiny flower there, a chamomile flower, and it is distilled. The flower actually does not produce a lot of oil, which is why this only comes in a 5 milliliter bottle, and it tends to be fairly expensive. So Roman chamomile, one of my first choices. I would do the following. I would either be applying it on the back of the neck, I would be diffusing it in the room where your child is studying, or I would be applying it to the soles of the feet. Now, you may not want to mix all 7 of these oils over all at once. That's going to be too much, I think. And I'm going to give you a blend at the end that I think you could put in a roller bottle and have your child takes to school. The other thing that you might consider, and I don't know if this is in the slide projection, is giving them a peppermint beadlet. Peppermint, we know, is helps us to stay alert and awake, and having that extra little whoop is something that your child can keep a peppermint beadlet right in their own backpack or knapsack and then take it during the day. They don't have to take a lot, but maybe 1 in the morning and maybe 1 again at lunchtime, just to kind of feel a little bit of a pick-me-up. Okay, another single oil that I really love is Cary Sage, because it supports a calm, clear, focused mind. Now, Cary Sage to me smells very similar. If you've never smelled it before, it smells very similar to lavender. How many of you have used Cary Sage in the past? Tell me in the chat. Love to hear which one of you have used Cary Sage. I know a lot of you have used Roman chamomile. You've certainly all had Roman chamomile tea. How many of you have had Cary Sage? So we're getting quite a few. Ling Lee says yes. Cynthia says me. Christy says love Cary Sage. Elizabeth says me. Mary Ann says me. Silim, yes, me too. I love the Cary Sage smell, Angie says. And Christy Carpenter says, helps me with hormones. So yes, ladies, and also girls. If you have a girl who is a student, also Cary Sage can be an amazing support for hormones. Chamomile only, Catherine says chamomile only, haven't tried Cary Sage. And Joanne says she's used it for stomach cramps. So let's talk a little bit about Cary Sage. Again, mixing Cary Sage and Roman chamomile together, terrific smell together. I think you would really enjoy those. Those are 2 oils that blend really well. You've got your floral. They're actually 2 florals, because Cary Sage, as you can see, is a floral, and Roman chamomile is another kind of floral. So blending florals together, great idea. Okay, another single oil that I love, Cedar Wood. Okay, so I've talked about Cedar Wood so many times on this here about how it calms the mind, supports and improves mental performance. So the way I use Cedar Wood, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, is I apply it on the spine. When we apply essential oils to the spine, we apply them from the bottom of the spine up to the neck. So we're always applying from down and then up. We are not applying, we want it to go up towards the brain, right? That's what our goal is. So Cedar Wood calms and supports. It's also a great aid for sleeping. So if you're a person who doesn't sleep soundly, if your student doesn't sleep soundly and needs a little bit more support to get that good sound sleep, Cedar Wood is a terrific essential oil for you. Tell me, how many of you have used Cedar Wood? I would expect almost every hand to go up, because Cedar Wood is one of those oils that really you can't live without. The other thing that I love is that, yeah, we're getting, okay. So Megan says she uses for tired feet. I love that. Sihan says he uses it every night. Chanyi says their favorite Cedarwood's your favorite. Okay, great. Peggy says uses every night. Marianne says use that too every night for sleep. And Ben Lim says yes, with rosemary for scalp. Okay, cool. I love it. And Ben Lim says to remind me that it's the Singapore product of the month. Thank you. Yay. Yeah, I'll give you some praise hands, Ben. Thank you for reminding me. So cedarwood and lavender at night, and put on my forehead. Who says that? Agatha says put on my forehead before sleep. Cynthia also says for sleep, and also use cedarwood on my face in my hydrating cream. It's true, it can work, especially if you tend to have oily skin. Cedarwood is excellent for improving skin appearance. But I like to blend it with some of my other, and I would definitely blend the cedarwood with the Roman chamomile and the Cary Sage. Let's talk about now best blends. So I gave you 3 singles. Now let's talk about some of the best blends. First one on the hit parade, Intune. Everybody loves Intune. I also love the ease of use of Intune. It calms and stimulates the mind. You can roll it on. A child could take it with them to school. I know especially when my son was little, I used to keep younger. I shouldn't say little because he was never little. He was a giant size. You have to look up Baby Huey, for those of you who don't know. Baby Huey, and that will make you laugh because he was always just so big. That's just the way he's always been. Anyway, so Intune. I love the way it is so portable. It also has kind of to me, a fresh, clean scent that I think kids actually like. I used to keep it on my son's desk as he studied. Sometimes I would send it into school with him in his backpack, but I really like Intune. Number 1 for me on the hit parade. You're not gonna blend it with anything. You're gonna use it as a portable essential oil. Okay, next blend that I really like. Okay, Motivate. Okay, why do we like Motivate so much? I think, and actually Siosin says that she likes Intune for focus. So I agree, I like it too. Motivate promotes motivation, mental stimulation, and movement. So when you're trying to get up in the morning, you're trying to get your child out of bed in the morning, maybe they haven't been getting out of bed on a regular time. I know it's been a struggle. I've been kind of forcing my son to stay on some sort of a regular schedule, but sometimes I get up in the middle of the night and he's up doing his own thing. He's reading or watching TV or reading book. I don't know what he's doing, chatting with friends, but he's not sleeping. And so he needs Motivate in the morning. So on the mornings when we have to get up, so for example, on Saturday when we brought my daughter to the airport, we actually got him out of bed because he wanted to say goodbye to his sister. My kids are very close. And so he got up at like 5:30 in the morning to leave the house at 6, and he was pretty peppy, and he carried suitcases, and he walked and he kissed her goodbye or so on. And when we got back into the car, my husband and me and my son, we sat down, and my husband and I were chatting, and all of a sudden I said, Henry, what do you think about this? And my husband said, no, he's sound asleep. And he had basically pulled his hood over his head, and he was sound asleep, and he slept all the way home. So if you have to get somebody out of bed and motivate them, like a student who's been on vacation for a while, you want to use your Motivate, right, for mental stimulation and movement. So Agatha says she gives it to her daughter to motivate her to complete her projects. Oh my gosh, that's a great use for it. Agatha, are you using it in a diffuser, or you're having her apply it directly to the skin? And also Cynthia says she applies Motivate on her son's chest when he's nervous about school. Okay. And Tanya says she diffused Motivate when she was in labor, and that the baby was born in 1 hour and 45 minutes. Oh my gosh, Tanya, that's amazing. Is that first baby? Let us know. Agatha says she applies it directly on the wrist. So that's for her daughter, applies it directly on the wrist. So you may have a bottle like this, or you may have a roll-on, but either one is terrific. I like the roll-ons, especially for students, because I love anything that is diluted for students, because I don't know if they naked. Tanya says second baby. Okay, terrific, Tanya. Thanks for letting us know. I like anything that is diluted for students, because I don't know if they always need the pure essential oil right on their skin. And some of the emotional aromatherapy oils, and this is one of them, can be a little bit strong. Motivate, though, is mint and citrus, and so it smells very fresh and clean. Okay, next blend that I really love, Balance. Who doesn't love Balance? Interestingly enough, if you didn't know that, it has a little bit of Roman chamomile on it, and there's the flowers to prove it. So if you haven't used Balance yet, maybe tell me in the chat who hasn't used Balance. So all you veterans, I know you're going to hold yourselves back because I know you've all used Balance, but if maybe you're new, let me know. Maybe you're one of the people that's going to win the prize today, and I want to make sure that I know who hasn't used Balance. Okay, a lot of people are talking about how, oh, Angie says my kids love soaking Balance in the bathtub. Luke says uses it in skincare. Dennis says she hasn't used it. Cynthia says she loves it. Catherine says loves it. Elizabeth says I haven't yet. And Geraldine says I'm new here and never used Balance. Okay, terrific. So there's a lot of people that haven't tried it yet. I love Balance. You are going to love it too if you haven't tried it yet. Regina says Balance is definitely my daily essential oil, keeps her awake, keeps her going, relaxed, and helps her to sleep. Joanne says she loves it. Don't you love the fact that I can read out the comments now? Is this amazing? So now we can really converse and we can chat with one another. Before it was all about me, blah, 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 but now I get the feeling that we're really more engaged. Lorinda says it's her daughter's favorite and uses it all over. And Lori Kroll says, my daily scent with patchouli. Yeah. Okay. And Jessica says Balance for yoga. Okay. Love those comments. For those of you who haven't tried Balance, now's your time to try it. Okay. Next best blend, Thinker. Okay. So this is part of the, kids collection, and I love the kids collection. I have used it slightly less, but I'm going to tell you something today, which is we're going to not only give away 2 prizes on this call. If you go to Instagram today, we're going to be announcing a new giveaway. Haven't done a giveaway for a while. Didn't do a giveaway last week, but I'm going to do a giveaway today on Instagram. Actually, it's going to start today, and the winner is going to be announced on Friday. So starting today, winner on Friday. But here, let's talk about Thinker for a while. One of the things that I like about the kids collection in general, many fewer essential oils in the kids collection. So we usually see a group of about 3 to 4 oils in the blends. You know that some of our adult blends or some of our other blends or traditional blends, let's call them original blends, right? That's a good term. Original blends have multiple essential oils in them. They can have 5, 6, or 7. In general, essential oil blends from doTerra are not super complicated. I have to say, I worked previously with a company that used to have blends that what I would call everything but the kitchen sink. They just took all the oils and they threw them all together, and they just made these massive blends with 20 or 40 oils in them. And I have to say, I think that's too much. I don't really love that. And how does the body react to all those essential oils? To me, it just seems like a mishmash, like, I don't know, like a garbage dump of essential oils. I want the body to really, I want the body to absorb the oils, react to the oils appropriately, and really wake up to the fact that they're actually being exposed to essential oils. Simplicity is best. And when we think about the children's collection, we want to think about that way of kind of introducing kids to essential oils that's not too strong or will overwhelm their small systems. And one of the things that we know about essential oils in general is that less is more. So Thinker is not the same as Intune. No, thanks, a good question. And Jazz says she's new here, and great to hear about the different essential oils and their usages. Thank you, Jazz. I'm happy that you're here too. Traxine says, my daughter alternates Thinker and Intune on her 11-year-old twins for school and now virtual studies. Okay, that's a great idea. Also, alternate your essential oils. That's a great point, and I should love to make that point. If you've been using something for a long time and you have not changed it up, I'm going to encourage you to change it up now, because the body, just like anything else, needs to be stimulated. We need new ideas. We need new experiences. And part of our keeping ourselves fresh and alert is being able to experience a new smell. We do know that the nose is connected directly through to the brain through the olfactory systems, and it's one of the quickest ways for us to stimulate the brain. So let's really try to, if you haven't tried these before, try them now. And now I'm going to give you a cool blend that I think you'll like. So use these, you can use these aromatically or topically, or for a blend for concentration. So I like 2 drops of cedar wood, 2 drops of lavender, 1 drop of Roman chamomile, 1 drop of sandalwood, and 1 drop of vetiver. And you're going to combine it and apply it to the feet. The reason I'm suggesting feet for this particular blend is because vetiver can be a very thick, viscous oil. It can also be an oil that some people love and some people don't love at all. It is terrific for the brain, and it really is one of those oils that I don't know if I could live without. But it is fairly strong, which is why it is recommended for kids that have more severe concentration problems and may have to even take some sorts of pharmacy support. So someone is working with them to try to give them something to feel more like themselves and to be able to concentrate and sit. Now, we know for a fact that little kids need time to move around, right? They need time to move around and to express themselves. So don't try to force your 2-year-old or your 4-year-old into sitting in a chair and not moving. Kids need to move and explore and use their bodies to be able to understand the world around them. But by the time your child is ready, maybe for middle school grades, 10 or 11, and they're still having difficulty focusing, you want to help them in whatever way you can. I feel like these oils have been a godsend in my family. With my daughter, I felt like my daughter was always pretty good at concentrating, but my son maybe not so much. And oils like cedar wood and Roman chamomile and vetiver and sandalwood were our go-tos day after day, week after week. And I think they really improved his concentration and his focus. He just graduated from high school and is going on to a wonderful college in the fall. And I think part of his ability to really study and read, he was not, that's the other thing, he wasn't really a big reader, because for him to sit down with a book was really hard. When he was around 12, we actually had him take a speed reading course because he was reading so slow that reading was, I don't know, like a punishment for him, more like a horrible chore that he didn't want to get through. And so taking the speed reading course and being able to read a little bit more quickly helped him to enjoy what he was reading and to make progress on what he was reading. And that, combined with the essential oils, really helped him to become a better and better student. And now he really, I think he really likes school, and he does very well at it. Okay, so Marianne is asking, can you mix them all and put in a roll-on and dilute with fractionated coconut oil? So Marianne, all the ones that I'm showing on the screen, yes, you can mix them all together and put in a roll-on and dilute with fractionated coconut oil. That's really the idea with this particular blend. So you would be putting 2, 4, 6, 7 drops of essential oil. And remember, I'm talking about a child. So I'm thinking of a child ages 10 and under, perhaps. If you had an older child, maybe a high schooler or even a college student, you could easily double this recipe. Instead of putting 7 drops, you would put 14 drops, and then you would add fractionated coconut oil to top it off. If you have, once you smell it, and I always recommend you smell it first, blend your essential oils, maybe put in a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, give it a good shake, and then smell it. How do you like it? What's the predominant smell for you? Ask your child to smell it, right? So if your child smells it and says, Mom, delicious, Dad, I love this. Okay, great, you're on the right track. But if your child goes like this, uh-oh, maybe there's something in there that they don't like so much. So now what you may try to do is put out the individual bottles and have them smell the individual bottles. Do they love this one and hate this other one? Okay, you know what? Leave it out. It's okay. You can also, if you've already blended this, you're not going to throw it away. But what you can do is add more of the one that they like until it smells appropriate or proper or enticing for them. That's the most important, I think. So keep this in mind when you're doing your blends. It's not just about getting the essential oils on the body, although that is really important. It's also about making friends with your kids so that they feel like, you know what, mom's giving me something that's really great. Now, I know, and I'm sure you have the same experience, there are some essential oils that I just don't really love. They're just not my favorites. Maybe it's my body chemistry, maybe it's my DNA, I don't know, but there's some that I don't love and some that I go back to again and again and again. So I actually last night was listening to a podcast right before bed, and it was a podcast about cilantro. Now I happen to love cilantro, and I know cilantro is used a lot in cooking, and so especially in Southeast Asia and in India, it's used throughout, either in the seed form or the leaves. It's included, it's ground up, it's used in pestos and in soups and all different sorts of things. And for me, it smells amazing, but some people don't like it. So that's my next question. I got off a little bit on a tangent, but tell me, do you love cilantro or do you hate it? And it's okay, it's all good, let me know. Z says cilantro is an acquired smell, but she likes it. Okay. Joy says, love it. Megan says, love. How about anybody else? Let me know. Mulliganish says, I like it. Swanby says, no. Okay. So Swanby, you have to tell me, does it smell soapy to you? That's what I want to hear. Angie says, love it. Megan says, add it to soup. ZN says, into my smoothies. Okay. Rohan, wow. With egg. Way Huey says, doesn't like it. Traxine says, love it, love it. A lot of, Ella says hasn't tried it, but Ella, have you eaten cilantro in food? That's what I also want to know. Dislikes the scent, but I take a drop in water every morning. Wow, you're really bold. Okay, depends how it's served. Don't like this, just don't like the smell. Okay, yes. Pamela says, no, I'll stay away from it. Sorry, not for me. Okay. Eating it is fine. Oh, eating is fine. Okay, but you don't like the essential oil. Fuse at night helps you sleep, and I love it. I add it to guacamole. So, and there studies have actually shown that there's about 10% of the population that just doesn't like it. They don't know if it's a genetic thing or what it is, but what's interesting is they smell cilantro. To them, the smell smells very soapy, and that's why they're put off by trying to eat. It would be like trying to eat a bar of soap. It smells weird to them. So interestingly enough, but Ella says, yes, it's really good in Indian food. Yeah. And in Mexican food, it's delicious. So, and I have to say, we're Spanish and we use tons of fresh cilantro. And then sometimes they actually, if I don't have enough or my cilantro is looking a little bit wilted, I'll add a drop of cilantro essential oil and just kind of brighten up the dish. I'll very often put it in beans. I don't know if anybody's have it on steamed fish. Makes me relate to chicken rice. Yes. So if you've ever had it in beans, like we will make a big pot of beans that we're going to serve with rice, and then I'll put it in the beans. That's the flavoring that we would make. Okay. So I'm announcing, first I'm going to tell you about the giveaway on Instagram for this week. Okay, so today is National Best Friends Day, okay? I cannot think of a better day to be here together with you. I feel so lucky that we're here today on Best Friends Today. And on Instagram, we're gonna give away 2 doTerra Strongers, 2 doTerra Strongers, one for you and one for your best friend. So you have to go to Instagram, Elena Jordan, and the winner will be announced on Friday. So if you are on Instagram, or if you're not and you want to join, it's pretty easy, just like Facebook, really. In fact, they're now the same company. You can get into another blend. Happy Best Friends Day, Megan. Happy Best Friends Day, everyone. If I'm not your best friend, tell me who your best friend is. Because I have a lot of best friends, I have to say. Many of you know one of my best friends on earth is Carrie Donegan. I also have some friends from childhood that I just love to death. So if you have a best friend, please let me know. Someone from childhood, I'd love to hear it in the chat. So don't forget, you're not going to get stronger today here. You get stronger if you go to Instagram and play to win. I think it's going to be fun. The rules are really easy. You're just basically, I think, I don't know, saying yes to the chats or something like that. So let's, I want to say thank you. Thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. Love that you're here. Thank you for really pulling out all the stops today. We have a wonderful audience. We've gotten a really a terrific group of you on today. here's what the Instagram looks like. You'll follow, and just my little bear saying thank you for all my best friends that are here on the call today. Remember, let's help preserve the health and safety of your family. Make sure that this is always an open place where we can have a dialogue here together. And last but not least, thank you so much for having been here. So if you have not subscribed, we'd like to see you subscribe below. Click the subscribe button, and we'll be talking to you later on about how to, there we go, stop the share. We'll be talking to you a little bit later on about how you can make essential oils part of your everyday life. And thank you so much for having joined us.